2024 was easily one of the best years of my life. I moved out of my parents' place, I spent an entire month in Japan, and had even more unforgettable experiences on top of that. So, with that being said, it'll probably sound strange when I tell you that going into 2025, I felt more hopeless than ever. Nothing really changed around then, and things were still going pretty well for me, so I also couldn't help but wonder why I was feeling this way. So I put on some popular show, expecting it to be nothing more than slop that would assist in filling the void I felt in my soul, not knowing that it was actually going to be the start of a genuinely life-changing journey that would span across the runtime of 3 separate shows. The first of these shows was Ferren. So for the two of you watching this who don't know what the show is, Ferren Beyond Journey's End is about the life of a small but very old elf girl named Ferren after she and her party have defeated the Demon King. Due to the longer lifespan from being an elf, Ferren has lived a significantly longer life than those she comes across, initially causing her to come off as jaded, or stoic. But in the first episode, we see that distant stoicism crumble. When one of her former party members dies of old age, she breaks down into tears at his funeral, regretting that she didn't get to know him better. After this event, she dedicates herself to learning more about the people she's close to, so she can make sure that she doesn't have that same regret ever again. Throughout the rest of the show, we see her do things like engaging activities she normally wouldn't care about, and show appreciation towards those around her. This aspect of Ferren as a character is just one of the reasons why this show is so amazing, and it's something that I don't relate to. You see, unlike Ferren, I am a human who at least has some level of empathy for other humans. I already understand that each of us only has a limited time to be alive, and that it's important to cherish the time I spend with people before I never get the chance to see them again. Given that information, how does everything I mentioned before now make the show such a life-changing experience for me? It's because after watching the show, I sort of had the opposite realization that Ferren had at the beginning. That rather than undervaluing other people's time, I was overvaluing my own. After the credits rolled, I spent a lot of time during the next few days just thinking about the show, and eventually I noticed that I was often engaging in some weird mental loop where I would constantly worry about whether or not I was spending my time correctly, no matter if I was trying to relax or if I was trying to be productive. When I was deciding how I wanted to spend my time, I would first spend a good portion of that time deliberating which of my options would give me the most satisfaction. This is actually where the show becomes life-changing for me. As I looked back on what I had just watched, I remembered scenes toward the beginning of the show where we would see instances of Ferren referring to 10 years in the same way we would refer to just a few days. Naturally, this way of thinking occasionally caused some of her human companions to get frustrated with her due to the fact that she doesn't understand just how long that is to them. In that regard, one of the ways she learns to connect with people better is by zooming in and focusing on the present. By doing this, she realizes that her companions don't have decades to waste doing menial things like looking for flowers or spells that let you see through people's clothes. I mean, I definitely wouldn't need either of those, especially the second one. What were we talking about? Oh, that's right. This probably sounds pretty cheesy, but in the same way that Ferren learns to live in the present to connect with those around her, I've also had to learn to live in the present, but instead so I can connect with myself, and be reminded that it doesn't matter how much I enjoy doing something as long as I give myself the time to enjoy it in the first place. So with that being said, I'm gonna go back to the 1500s to commit some crimes against humanity. You guys want in? Nah, I'm just kidding. You guys don't get a choice, come on. Passion. The way we usually define this term is something like a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement about a particular subject. But how do I really know what my passion is? How do I know if I have one in the first place? How do I find it? At the start of the year, these kinds of questions plagued my brain. I was scared that if I didn't have a passion, I would end up living my life day by day doing the same thing over and over again. Now, I don't think this is inherently a bad way to live, at least as long as you're showering and touching grass once in a while. That's right, Smash community, I'm looking at you. I just personally don't like the idea of living like that myself. This fear of living a life without passion made me obsessively look for ways to find one. I would watch YouTube videos and read articles to find something that could help me find my passion, but nothing worked. Then I found Orb, a show that, to me, is all about space! This story takes place in 15th century Poland. For a while now, people have known that the Earth is round. Pretty job, guys. Way to figure out something a lot of people nowadays can't understand. But unfortunately, due to the power the church had back then, and having inadequate technology, it's still believed that the Earth is at the center of the universe. Because why would God put us anywhere else? This makes it so that ideas that state something contrary to this belief are seen as heresy. And located in the area where the story takes place, there is a man who has made it his job to torture and execute the heretics who dare try to spread these kinds of ideas. Despite this threat, after our main characters stumble across heliocentrism, each of them, for one reason or another, start to believe in it. Some are driven by greed, some do it for science, and some don't fully understand everything about it, but either way, each of them has made it their life's goal to prove this theory as fact. It's in observing this very dedication that I realize that this is passion. Not something that I can just wake up with, but something that I would have to stumble upon while exploring what life has to offer, and then cultivate by putting in the effort to learn more about it.
しかし俺は指導説を信仰してる
Wait, hold on. Learning stuff and putting in effort is kind of scary, because like, what if I'm bad at it and what if I waste my time? It would be absolutely crushing if I gave up on something that I care so much about. These are the thoughts that I would have when I would start trying to learn something new. But after watching Orb, I realized that if there's something that I truly enjoy, it shouldn't matter if I'm bad at it or if I don't understand it. And in that regard, how would pursuing an interest of mine that I truly enjoy be considered a waste of time? Coming to this realization and combining with what I learned from Ferren helped to give me some sense of motivation to pursue things that I was interested in. Now obviously, I'm not going to act like this way of thinking suddenly allowed me to achieve my dreams and become an alpha male as if I'm some Andrew Tate ripoff, but it did help me get the ball rolling on some things in my life. In fact, one of those things was my first YouTube video. However, even though I was able to start working on it, there was still one major problem I was dealing with that kept me from finishing it. And that was you. I'll be honest, while working on the script for this video, I was debating whether or not I should even include this final anime, because I didn't think I would have too much to say about it. I mean, it's a good show, but there isn't really anything that left me with my jaw on the floor, and at the most basic level, it's just about some kid discovering his love for art, trying to get into art school, and then starting a world war after he fails. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Forget that last part. While writing about the other two shows, I was able to think about it more, and I found that neither of those shows would have had the same impact on me if I didn't also watch this one. The first reason I say that is simple. This show serves as a great message to aspiring artists of any kind. It shows the joy, the struggles, and the frustrations that come with doing art. It shows the importance of taking a break. But most importantly, it shows you just how much other people can affect your art. There are lots of different types of people in this world. What they do, what they say, and how they treat you can all affect the way you think. This impact is even greater when you take into account the saying, "You are your own worst critic." It may be cliche, but think about it. When people give you compliments, you'll want to impress them even more in the future. And if there's somebody you consider your rival, that'll make you want to one-up them. In both of these scenarios and many others, you raise your expectations for yourself because of what other people think. And now if those heightened expectations aren't met, you'll feel demotivated and inadequate. I mean, this even applies to people you haven't met. It's common for people to compare themselves to pros, or if you're planning on uploading something to social media, it's common to care about metrics like view counts or watch time, because caring about your viewers and their attention is what makes the numbers get bigger. Anyways, as I was saying, there are many ways that other people can influence how we feel about our art. And unfortunately, I fell victim to quite a few of the ones I mentioned before. When I was working on my first video, I wanted to impress my friends, I compared myself to the people I looked up to, and I wanted to be seen as entertaining. The main problem with this is that I always put the opinions of others before my own. Now, that's not to say other people's opinions don't matter at all. Criticism and feedback are important. But when you're trying to make art as a hobby, you should primarily be caring about how it makes you feel, not how it makes others feel. This is where I had my final realization. Figuring out that all of my work, all of my effort, all of it is for me. I might share my creations with the world, I might get happy when somebody compliments something I make, or I might look for criticism so I can improve in the future. But at the end of the day, this channel, this video, and all videos I will ever upload, all of them are for me. And that's all I got. Thank you for watching this video, even if it wasn't made for you.